This is my review of the Megadeth album Youthanasia. It was released in 1994 and produced by Max Norman and Dave Mustaine. So I've only had this album a couple years really, and so it's not one of my more listened to Megadeth albums, but I was pretty excited to get this one because the cover, I've always really liked this album cover, it's just weird. And so like in the booklet of this album, Dave basically says that the band was getting more democratic, and I also kind of noticed that all the songs in it are like credited to all the band. So I feel like this album kind of continues the direction they were going in on a Countdown to Extinction. Like, to me it almost doesn't seem like they went any further with that. It seems like they just kind of almost like stayed in the same place. Kind of getting a little more commercial, but still staying pretty heavy. I think that this album might be a little bit slower overall than that album was. But yeah, I think this album just kind of is similar to that album, but I don't know if the highs aren't quite as high, but I feel like in some ways it might be a little bit more of an even album. The album opens with Reckoning Day. I like the main riff in this one a lot. I like Dave's vocal a lot, so I think it's a strong opening track. Second track, Train of Consequences. This is my favorite song off the album. I knew it for a long time from the greatest hits. And other than the album cover, that was like the main reason I was excited to get this one. So I think it's still like my favorite track on here, but it is kind of tied with another one a little bit. The third track, Addicted to Chaos. This one, kind of like really slow song for a song with the title of Addicted to Chaos. Like you think that would be a fast song, but I like the riff in it. I think Friedman's solo is cool, and overall I like the song. The fifth track, Atula Moon. This one I knew from the greatest hits as well, and I kind of think that I was pretty into this song like early on into Megadeth, because at the time I didn't really listen to anything as like heavy as Megadeth, and I wasn't listening to a lot of like heavier things, so it was one of the songs I kind of gravitated towards more. I think I've gotten like a little bit tired of it. I know Dave, I think, thinks it's like one of the best things he's ever written because he's done it again. And I mean, I like it, but it's just not really one of my favorites anymore. The fifth track, Elysian Fields, which I guess is like something to do with Greek mythology. And this one I like, it's pretty catchy, it always kind of sticks in my head. The sixth track, The Killing Road, this one I like a lot. I like the guitar, I think that all the drums are cool. Kind of a minor standout to me. The second track, Blood of Heroes, this one I like the guitars in as well. I think the vocal part's pretty catchy. So that's another minor highlight. The eighth track, Family Tree, has kind of this creepy sounding verse, and the chorus of it's kind of like pretty catchy. I like all the instrumental stuff in it, so that one's kind of another like minor standout. Then the ninth track, the title track, Youthanasia, I think has a really cool intro. I like the drums a lot. So this kind of weird effect on Dave's voice that I like, and I just really like his singing throughout the whole song. It's a really cool song, and that's probably my other one that could be my favorite on this album. The 10th track, I Thought I Knew It All. This one to me kind of sounds like one where they were trying to be pretty commercial, and it's one that, like, I don't know, I like it kind of because Dave's vocal on it's pretty ridiculous sounding. Not one of my favorite tracks on here, but it's kind of goofy, and so I kind of like it for that. And I mean, overall it's just a pretty catchy track, but I could see people like not liking this one at all. The 11th track, can't even read my handwriting there, Black Curtains. This one, I like the guitar, I like the instrumental stuff on it, not like a huge standout, but I thought it was fine. And then the 12th and final track, Victory, I think this one has some cool bass in it. I like all the other instrumental stuff. Cool guitar solo in it, and I thought it was a pretty decent closer. Death Album Youthanasia, to me, is an album that doesn't like quite have as many highs as Countdown to Extinction or Rust in Peace, but I think it's a really solid album all the way through, maybe a more like consistent album all the way through than Countdown. And I think it just kind of continues the direction of Countdown. It doesn't really like push things too much further like the next two albums would. But it's an album that I recommend. I don't know if I'd start here with Megadeth because I guess it's like not what they're famous for, so Youthanasia, a pretty good album.